Okay, that was amazing, Chancellor Barber, to even go through those titles. I've never thought of it that way. But thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I do join one of many out here that are cheering all of you on and congratulating you on your good work. You know, being a non-traditional student is not easy. For many, it was nearly impossible before WGU. So let me begin by singing my praises of WGU Indiana. You are the students, the learners, the graduates, the barrier busters, the professionals that we need for the future of Indiana. So you heard a little bit from the Chancellor who you are, but let me tell you a little more that I learned. You're an average age of 39 years old, and we did recognize John as our senior in the group. That's awesome. 70% of you are female, 30% male. Okay, guys, you're gonna have to get going because those women are ahead. And by the way, that's a trend across higher education, not just at WGU. More women are graduating than their male counterparts. 24% of you live in rural Indiana. I could not be more excited about that. You heard Allison say that I am Secretary of Agriculture and Rural Development. Really, the defining reason I said yes to being Lieutenant Governor, knowing that it is so important. In fact, I'd like to see if any, those of you come from rural areas, raise your hands. I just want to see you. Thank you, thank you. Give them a big round of applause. You know, I say that because coming from one of those rural areas, my little town of Ferdinand in Du Bois County, the educational opportunities were not very good. And as I wanted to go further in my career, I ended up driving 2 hours each way to work on my master's and PhD. So I understand what you're going through there. Almost half of you are first-generation graduates. That is awesome. Yes, that's another big round of applause. And on average, it's taken about 2 years for you to get to your degree completion or that degree you're working on. That's another awesome achievement. So let me tell you why this is so important. Here in Indiana, we really have a good news and a bad news story. Now, I'm not sure with this if I should come further. It's a little bit of echo there. But there's the good news in that here in Indiana, we now have more jobs than ever before. More jobs, the most jobs that we've ever had in our state's history. And that's great news. We're growing the workforce. And employers can't even find enough qualified employees. But therein is the bad news. Employers cannot find enough qualified employees and qualified workers. So 2 years ago, the General Assembly tasked the governor and I to lead the Indiana Career Council, where our challenge was to align Indiana's workforce with the opportunities that are here in Indiana and growing in Indiana, focused on creating a more prosperous state. When we studied it, we found that we were woefully behind the educational attainment curve. We found that 65% of the jobs coming in this next decade were going to require a degree or a credential, something post-secondary. In past generations, you could have led a middle-class lifestyle with a high school diploma. But as many of you have discovered in the room, that would be difficult today, and not just in Indiana, but in the United States and really across the world. Indiana's educational attainment for bachelor's degrees right now stands at just above 34%. We have set a goal of 60% of our Indiana workforce having a post-secondary certification or degree by 2025. And we're very pleased that we have the Ivy Techs and the Vincennes to help us with those 2-year degrees and certifications. And we have some post-secondary education in all of our post-secondary institutions, universities across our state. But I will tell you, going on the path we're on, we will get to 41% by 2025. That is not good enough. So here we come to all of you. Did you know that we have 750,000 Hoosiers, 750,000 people with part of a degree, some movement towards that secondary degree, post-secondary degree. The reality is that WGU has enabled us, each of us, to skill up. And that's exactly what we're doing here in areas like business, health professions, IT, and the teaching professions. And you are the folks who have proven that you can do college, but by the way, for many of us, life gets in the way, right? And so WGU fills that void. And so I say thank you to Governor Pence, the state of Indiana, your employer, and certainly not least your family for supporting you as you've gone back. You have the skills to meet the needs of the 21st century workforce. And you are on the forefront of higher education. You have earned your degree in a new way. The online part is not so new, but the competency-based part is. You are demonstrating that it is not seat time, the football team, or how much you pay for your tuition that should determine the value of your degree. It is how much you learn and how you can put that knowledge and skill to work. I couldn't be prouder that to learn that WGU has the best secondary teacher education program in the nation. That's a big accomplishment, yes. For a university that was birthed in 1995, how amazing that is, especially given that we are right here in Indiana as across the nation approaching a teacher shortage. So let me just say what else I think you are demonstrating. First, going back is not easy, and it is tougher the older you get, not because you're not smart enough, but because we often lack confidence. For some, your first experience in college may not have been stellar. For others, it may have been the financial concerns and work-life challenges that makes it difficult. In any case, taking on completion of a degree is a big deal. I know, I've completed 3 of them. My first one was traditional, but my master's and PhD were done under circumstances like many of you. I had my own company, and by then a child. Just as I was finishing my master's degree, I found out I was pregnant with my second child. So it took me almost 5 years to complete that PhD. And I'll tell you that the dissertation, if you've ever done a dissertation, it really is competency-based. It's not done until it's done. I could have used one of those WGU counselors to nudge me on the weekly basis. I'm sure I would have gotten done a lot faster. Few understand the challenges you are making and the choices you are making when you give up your weekend to work on a class. Few understand the internal drive that is required to sit down to write a paper or complete an assignment rather than watch TV or be with your family or do other entertaining things after dinner. Your choices have built the character every employer wants in their employees: self-motivation, pride in your work, and the ability to get the job done. Congratulations. In closing, let me share a quote that Carly Fiorina has shared from her mother. It goes like this: "What you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God." Each of you is making the most of your potential. Each of you has stepped out to do more than was expected, and for some, more than you thought you could possibly accomplish. Now, use this degree as a springboard to an even brighter career, as a role model and a mentor for others, to make an even bigger difference in your community and to reach your own highest potential. Congratulations, WGU graduates. You are a big part of what makes Indiana a state that works. Thank you.